of receivers and backs are perhaps unmatched throughout the league. Tony Hill and Drew Pearson wide. Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, a great speedy threat, and Robert Newhouse will operate alongside him. 1st and 10 Cowboys, no score, first play from scrimmage. Dorsett. Taken down finally from behind by Ken Stone, and he saved it all. They were waiting for him to break, and he almost did.
What a reaction from the crowd. This is one of the best rushing defenses in the league, second in the NFC. Watch Dorsett go against that 34 defense, get some linebackers overplaying it, and now it's a sprint. And I'll tell you, Kenny Stone takes the long angle, but runs very well. The young man from Vanderbilt does save a touchdown. Well, that's scary when Dorsett breaks out on his first play.
He was the only man who had a chance, Ken Stone, to watch him cut him off.
Great tackle.
Scott Laidlaw is brought into play from the bench, and he is in the backfield with Dorsett now. Newhouse out. And Scott Laidlaw gets the call and gets about 6.
Good block by Fitzgerald, the offensive center. Here's that defense they're working on, a very good one against the run. At least we thought so. Pollard, the best pass rusher, Big Davis in the middle, and Dawson from Arizona at the left end.
The linebackers, Niels, Alleman, Williams, and Favren, who's playing very well.
And they miss Carney a lot.
Secondary, Allen, the veteran Roger Worley, Ken Green, and Ken Stone. 2nd and 6, 4-yard pickup by Laidlaw. At the St. Louis 35, they operate. Dorsett will operate. Looking for some place to go, and this time the pursuit does take care of his cutback. Mike Dawson made the tackle.
Bring up Roger Staubach's first throw. There's Dorsett's numbers. Incredible to think that in a few years he will eclipse the old 100-yard rushing mark that Calvin Hill set, huh?
Here's that last defense by
That's the 34. Now, the nose man is very important. That's Davis. Everybody reads, straightens up, and actually outfights that Dallas offensive line on the line of scrimmage, and TD had nowhere to go.
Dorsett ducked for a yard, so it's 3rd and 5, and Staubach has Preston Pearson in the backfield with him. Jay Saldy's also there. Staubach fires. He had it right on the money to Butch Johnson. Butch was a little bit off balance. Will we see Septien or Danny White?
Good play by Nelson over there as soon as the ball was bobbled. Inside man on the nickel, and that time the Cowboys did not go to the shotgun. They went with a double wing with Staubach under.
It'll be Raphael Septien to try a field goal of perhaps a little bit more than 50 yards, about 51. He's hit one from that range already this year. I noticed that Ben Agajanian was working with Raphael Septien before the game.
He's 2 for 5, over 40, so he has the range, and he did kick that 51-yarder.
This was about 51 and a half. Good snap. That might get there. It does. So the Cowboys, the number of plays it took Dallas to get 3 points on the board were 5. 51-yard field goal by Raphael Septien, who is about to kick off. Good kick. Willard Harrell fields it at the 2. And he's got some room. Out of bounds. Herded out by Dennis Thurman.
What a place to come and try to win a football game, though. The Cowboys are, what, 50-8 in this ball yard?
Since they opened Texas Stadium, they've won 50 and lost but 8.
They're 20 of their last 22, huh?
Yes.
St. Louis beat them 2 years ago, and Minnesota last year, and the rest of it's all W's.
That is amazing. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes first, the award-winning one, Archie Bunker's Place. One day at a time, Alice, the Jeffersons, and Pernell Roberts is Trapper John.
There's Otis Anderson getting outside.
Anderson outside and out of bounds finally by Cliff Harris. And Benny Barnes, remember he had that tremendous day, opening day, against Dallas.
And what they say about this 215-pounder is he'll start inside. He's always thinking outside. Look at the dip. That's Bob Young, the big 290-pound offensive left guard, pulling and blocking. And somebody in the Dallas defense didn't get the outside at all. No containment.
Bob Young, who came into the game with a pulled hamstring muscle, is out now. His place taken by George Collins in the Cardinal offensive picture. They're in Dallas territory at the Cowboy 49. Pitch out to Morris. And he struggles for 2 or 3.
Great play there by Bruning, who is, of course, the leading tackler for Dallas with 39 solos. How about those 2 opening plays by the running backs? Dorsett almost goes all the way, and Anderson comes right back.
And almost goes all the way. Cardinal offensive line now is Workman, George Collins, Banks, Terry Steve, and Joe Bostic. That's the interior lineman. The armbands worn by the red St. Louis Cardinals in the memory of J.B. Kane. Pass caught by Dave Stief, or Stief, I believe it is.
Stief made a real good move, and it looks to me like they're telling Benny Barnes, Benny, you're a great player, and we love you, but today's going to be rough. Now, Hart has that foot all wrapped up, his left one, so he doesn't have to push off of it, and he was throwing rather easily, I thought, in practice. And he's always had the good zinger, the good arm.
He said before that the only thing that really bothered him was when he had to pivot to make a handoff quickly. That the throwing motion.
Also, old folks have been wearing those kind of supporters in our arches for years.
Hurts me to pivot, too. There is Anderson from behind by Randy White. Just as he got back to the line of scrimmage, that was the Cardinal first down. Watch Randy.
Number 54 draws the double T block. Let's see what happens to Randy now. He just flat beats the block on the inside. Of course, that is not Bob Young. He and Young on opening day had quite a battle. Watch the left part of your screen. They try to bring Banks the center over on him, and he's too fast. Again, the Manster is about a 4.6 40 guy.
Just so quick off the ball. It'll be second down. He picked up a yard, perhaps make it 2nd and 9. Hart fakes to Anderson. Had a man in the person of Mel Gray open, but it was thrown a little low. Benny Barnes on the coverage. Looks like that's where they've decided to go.
Big thing that the Cardinals have had a problem with this year are turnovers. They're the worst in the NFC with 22 turnovers, and that's hard even for a great quarterback like Hart to overcome.
That statistic you just saw on your picture was obviously incorrect. He's not that good. He's a fine passer, but he's not that good.
He actually has 3 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. This is not Jimmy Hart's best year.
So it's 3rd down. And a rather long yardage. Still 9. Pat Tilley comes in motion. And Hart throws in the direction of Tilley. Cliff Harris, the cruncher, did his job.
And Tilley is small but nifty. That time, Hart kept his back in and doubled on both Randy White and Harvey Martin, and still didn't have a lot of time.
We saw a 51-yard field goal by Raphael Septien. We're going to see a 51-yard attempt by Steve Little. He's 4 out of 6, but none of them have been longer than 30 yards.
That's right. He's 0 for 2, over 30. But he does have a powerful leg, the Arkansas Razorback, huh?
Proud day for him. That's got plenty of distance.
Woo.
And that's good.
What a kick. That cleared by 10 yards.
Steve Little from 51 yards. Deep for Dallas. Little doesn't catch this one. It's going to be Wilson up the far sideline, now cutting back to the middle of the field. And Wilson stumbles at about the 28. Tries to get a little extra yard there with those arms. And the ball out. Bob Rozier and Charlie Davis were the leading tacklers for St. Louis. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited.
Let's see how this Cardinal defense now, if they begin to read a little bit more and not overcommit against that Dallas rushing game.
3-3 the score as Drew Pearson comes in motion wide to the right.
Oh, yes.
Staubach sends both backs out in the direction of Billy Joe Dupree, who had it and couldn't hold it. Cardinals are saying he had possession, and I don't see any indication that that's incorrect. The Cardinals do have it. Charlie Davis made the recovery, and we'll see if Billy Joe had possession.
Watch Roger now swing the backs out of the backfield and hook them up, so he has 3 short receivers in that 10 to 12 yard area. And Dupree, of course, at over 6'5", is a good target. Looks like he does get it put away, And I think it's a legitimate fumble. A good alert play there by Allerman. I believe it's Allerman that makes the recovery.
Eric Williams made the hit that knocked it loose, and Allen made the recovery.
Hart might go right back upstairs now. Remember, Mel Gray has always played extremely well against the Dallas Cowboys. He's not in there right now, though.
Here's a formation that the Cardinals have been using and running from it. Wayne Morris, the ball carrier. The tight end, Jim Childs, I beg your pardon, the tight end, Gary Parris, lines up in the backfield and stays there.
Well, that Hollywood Henderson really met Steve, the big guard, right in the hole. And Hollywood, or we should say Tomas Henderson, always looks small and skinny, but don't be fooled. He carries around 214, 215 pounds, and is strong.
First draft choice of the Cardinals, of the Cowboys, in spite of the fact that his collegiate team won only one game his senior year. Morris stopped by D.D. Lewis. That was a 2nd and 9 situation, so he got about 5.
A lot of blitzing Cowboys that time. That might have been one broken tackle. That was a great call.
Mel Gray, there's been some doubt about whether or not he would play, checks into the game. It all kind of hurts. 3rd and 5.
He was so hurt last week against Philadelphia, he went 73 yards in the 3rd period for a touchdown. He does that very quickly.
And in past years, he's done it very often against Dallas. 3rd and 5. Jim Hart calling the signals and comes in motion with Pat Tilley. Hart outside. Otis Anderson, the intended receiver, could not hang on. Aaron Mitchell.
The rookie's a good receiver, too. He just didn't put that one away. He had 21 catches coming in. Little gets another shot. This young man was a #1 draft choice. Very few kickers have ever had that distinction, except Arkansas kickers are different. I guess were you a #1 too?
No. This will be 41 yards. And plenty of distance on this one. As Steve Little is good from 41 and 51. A little bit only 5 yards, and they got a 41-yard field goal in from Steve Little, who is about to root another kickoff.
Springs has a 70-yarder, but this is going to go over to Wilson.
At about the 1. Wilson to the 26. Jim Hart on the St. Louis sideline, conferring with the coaches upstairs.
Talking to Ma Bell about the next play.
Tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 60 minutes. California is about to crack down on a doctor that the state says is involved in what could be the biggest case of medical fraud ever, but the doctor is still practicing.
It's frightening.
You want to know how come he's still practicing? Watch 60 Minutes. At the 25, they mark it down. Dallas 1st and 10. Cardinals lead 6-3. 2 field goals by Steve Little. Dorsett swings wide to the left side. Roger Worley, the first Cardinal to hit him.
Misdirection play, and there's an altercation down the field as Dawson and Billy Joe Dupree sort of elbowed one another going back to the huddle. And this was the one tip-off on the Cardinals all year. They say if they can't beat you on the field, they'll go ahead and fight. They are not afraid to mix it.
Your friends on the Eagles told you that they were nasty.
Oh, from the opening bell till it was over, they were still banging people. Very glad to get through playing St. Louis.
3-yard pickup for Dorsett, make it 2nd and 7. Ball's at the Cowboy 28. Preston Pearson joins Dorsett in the backfield. Tony D in motion. And Preston Pearson on a rare run from scrimmage gets just back to the line of scrimmage. Miami 13, New England 7, 2nd quarter.
Good play then by the defensive line. I noticed that on that 34 defense, they're pulled off the ball a little bit. That time Dawson really plugged it up.
It'll be 3rd and 7. Excuse me, Tom.
Pearson had only carried the ball 3 times before. That was a rare carry, as you said.
They have Tony Hill and Drew Pearson flanked wide to the right and Butch Johnson to the left. Preston Pearson is also in the game as Roger operates from the shotgun. Drew. No catch. to keep both feet down in bounds, and he made a great effort. He thinks he did it.
Ken Stone made a real good tackle on the play. Watch Roger. Staubach does not get off a clean pass because somebody just hits him across the numbers as he gets through with it. That looks to me like it's Dawson, I believe, number 73, and there he is knocked out of bounds. And well, the official had a better position to see it than we did. Stone stoned him, huh?
In good fashion. Danny White, the NFC's leading punter, averaged 50 yards last week against Los Angeles. Needs another man. Here comes Brunick. Thomas Henderson wide to the left on the punt. The return team will watch for the hang time. This one will hang pretty well. Thomas Henderson. Roy Green was the Cardinal who fielded that punt. But Thomas Henderson, who excels on special attack, it would appear, against Green Bay, 14-0 at the half.
Doug Williams with a run for a touchdown and a pass for a touchdown. Looks like it.
Washington over Philadelphia, 7-0 at the half.
No love lost between those two clubs either.
That game in Washington, it's the one they switched around because the Pope was around. Hart outside to Mel Gray. Aaron Kyle, the Dallas defender, but Jim Hart looks sharp.
And tough coverage. That's a single bit of coverage on Gray, who used to get a 9-2. He's probably about a 9-5 man now. Good blocking on the left side as Wortman picked up Harvey Martin and company and did a very good job on the line of scrimmage. What a great catch.
And Gray is down on the St. Louis sideline. Number 85 tried to struggle to his feet. Couldn't make it. Now he's up, but he had knee problems, hamstring problems, and ankle problems coming in. Jim Childs has taken his place. 2nd and 2 as Tilley comes in motion again. Pitch back to Anderson. Anderson with that great speed, strength, and balance gets the Cardinal first down before Cliff Harris knocks him out of bounds. There is Mel Gray. It looks like a knee problem.
Especially against Dallas. As you mentioned earlier, he's made 13 touchdowns in the last 11 games between St. Louis and Dallas. He's had a lot of problems with the wheels the last couple of seasons. Some run by young Anderson.
Baltimore 7, Buffalo nothing. Second quarter score. Burt Jones, by the way, is back in at quarterback for Baltimore. Tight end comes in motion, and Hart goes straight back. Anderson will have some room to operate, and Anderson takes on Aaron Kyle with his right arm and right shoulder.
Second time in a row that he's gotten through to the secondary. This time Hart put his man in motion, make the formation strong left, and now he swings the back end behind that. You understand that with the two receivers already going deep, Anderson has a lot of room to run. I'm telling you, he attacks the defenseman with that shoulder. Good thing Kyle got low.
He looks like he intends to hurt folks.
He doesn't act like he's a rookie either.
No, sir. He didn't negotiate with the Cardinals like he was a rookie. They're in Dallas territory at the 44 as Tilley again comes in motion and Anderson bangs straight ahead. That offensive line deserves a little credit, too, for St. Louis because they're just knocking them back on their heels at the moment.
All right, you're looking at Randy White. They're in the flex. Harvey Martin gets hit by Wortman and controlled. And Anderson just steams on in and actually ran right by Randy White.
George Collins in front of Randy White did a heck of a job. 7-7 at the half, Cleveland, Cincinnati.
Collins is the big second-year guard out of Georgia.
Here's Hart back to pass. And again, he gets it out to Anderson. And he is caught by Thomas Henderson. Not many linebackers in any league could have done that.
It looks like the Cardinals are trying to run a slip screen. Either that or the Cowboys really put pressure on. You'll see Hart has a lot of blue and white immediately. Unloads quickly. And somehow, Henderson got caught inside a little bit. And only great speed by 56 pulled the play off.
Another first down for the Cardinals at the Dallas 32. They lead already 6-3. Mel Gray has now caught a pass, by the way. He's injured, but he's caught a pass now in 82 consecutive games. That's second behind Harold Carmichael, and we'll check and see whether he's caught one today or not. Oakland 10-7 over the Jets. Hart had it in the hands of Dave Steep. He was hit by Benny Barnes.
Hart just turned to the sidelines to Bud Wilkinson and put his palms up like, what else can I do? Working the outside very well, though. And, of course, the cornerbacks, some people have always thought Dallas might be thrown on, not only outside, but over the corners.
Otis Anderson is out. It's very, very hot. That's Charlie Davis with the towel on his head. Anderson is out. His place has been taken by last year's Oklahoma quarterback Thomas Lott in the backfield.
And you're right, he could throw.
Handoff is to Wayne Morris, who's hit quickly by Harvey Martin.
Talking to Ernie Stautner about Harvey Martin's rejuvenation suddenly, and they say that Harvey has finally learned to take the inside once in a while and gamble and move into the play more. You can see that that's exactly what he did out of the flex position. Boy, what a tackle. He's a superb pass rusher. Now he's really playing that run tough.
Bob Young, who limped off after the first play from scrimmage, is back in for the Cardinals. George Collins is out. It'll be third down. 9 yards as Tilley comes in motion again and cuts back upfield. Hart looking in that direction and throwing. Almost caught by Jim Childs, but he couldn't hang on. Benny Barnes, the Dallas coverer. And we'll see Steve Little again.
And Benny did not have very good coverage or position on Childs, but that ball had been just hung up a little bit. Childs had the catch. Benny looks like he's struggling a little bit over there today.
By the way, I just got the information that Harold Carmichael so far, with his streak at 103 consecutive games now in which he's caught a pass, 2 off the record, has not caught one in the first half yet.
Maybe Pat Fisher came out of the stands or something.
And, of course, the Redskins against the Eagles. Here's Steve Little. And that one is wide right. After hitting from 41 and 51, Little misses from a 35, 46-yard attempt that time. And the Cowboys will take over from that line of scrimmage.
But pretty good direction, and it wasn't hooked.
Missed it wide to the right. Next week's doubleheader on CBS. First game's Dallas-Pittsburgh. That's where we'll be. New Orleans-Washington. Tampa Bay, Minnesota. And then Chicago at San Francisco. Green Bay against Miami. The Giants will be in Los Angeles, and Philadelphia against Cincinnati.
Patrick, is there a better quarterback around than Roger Staubach? We've been saying that for years, but he's playing better, it seems to me, as he does get older.
Right now, the way they figure, which is very complicated, he's the best in the history of the NFL. Going deep for Tony Hill. Picked off by Carl Allen. The Cardinals will have the football, but he was down as the result of contact. Carl Allen and Ken Stone both back on Tony Hill.
Well, we have a new number to put into the percentile. This is his 4th interception of the year. Ball is really thrown into double coverage. The cornerback Allen had nobody to cover, so he went back just to help out. And Hill had to wait for it a long time.
Coming into the game, he had thrown 62 consecutive passes without an interception. That was his 4th today, so that streak is broken.
The last one before this was the one run in by Darden for a touchdown in the Cleveland game, huh?
Right. Bob Young is back out again, and George Collins is at offensive left yard for St. Louis. 1st and 10 at their own 17. St. Louis leads Dallas 6-3. Wayne Morris hit in the backfield by D.D. Lewis, and then he got some help from a lot of his friends. Bob Brunig and Benny Barnes converged on there.
D.D. Lewis will come up and make the force, but these are good running backs. Anderson and, of course, Morris, don't think he's too underrated. We've seen him get 180-something against Minnesota one day. But make sure tackles don't come up at all.
And, of course, he's playing in his hometown.
That's right, the old SMU boy. He's a Mustang. He's got the fever, as they say, right?
Mania.
Mania.
I guess there's a difference. 2nd down, 7 to go. Tilley again comes in motion, and Otis Anderson heads upfield and whirls for a Cardinal 1st down. Wow.
He hurdled over 2 linebackers. D.D. Lewis and Brunig went down low, and 32 just stepped over him like it was the high hurdles. Is this some running back? Anderson came in with 663 yards, a 4.7 average. Look at this. Leaps right by the two linebackers and is spinning as he goes down with Cliff Harris hanging on.
5 carries, 44 yards for Otis Anderson. Maybe one of the best first-round choices of all time. In motion goes Steve, and back goes Hart. Steps up into the pocket and throws. Went behind Benny Barnes. It was deflected by Thomas Henderson. Barnes was on the good coverage that time.
Tell you, Jimmy Hart proved that support that he's got in the arch is working. He stepped up in and made a good movement in the pocket to get it off. Anderson's a little bit scary, though, for a rookie, Pat. He seems to know where the defensive players all are. He's looking for ways to make them miss him.
You know, you mentioned before that he had that big day against Dallas opening day. Only 2 backs in the history of the Cowboys have ever had more than one 100-yard day against Dallas. Jim Brown and John David Crow. So that's pretty good company.
2 pretty good country running backs there.
Hart on a draw play to Morris. Brunig made the hit. He got about 5 yards. He had some help. Randy White.
Randy just stretched out a little clothesline across the top, and Morris ran right out from under it. Randy White is what they would call a consummate defensive tackle. If you had to get a prototype and carve one out, I think you'd make a Randy White.
I think so. Right now, they've moved him to left defensive end. He'll rush from the outside. Stalls comes into the middle. Mel Gray is back in the game. Quick healers. Hart goes back. Case. Taken down by Randy White.
Now that's only Randy White's 2nd sack of the year, but he's had about 35 hurry-ups, and they're sometimes worse. He just comes right by the offensive right tackle, Big Bostic, the young rookie from Clemson. Maybe that change of position liberates him a little bit, too.
Well, it gives him a little bit more room to operate. There's nobody coming at him from the left anyway.
But you can hear him running.
Jim Hart heard him. Steve Little, averaging just under 40 yards a kick, but very few of the punts by Steve Little are returned. He keeps him up there a long time. That one off the side of his foot a little bit. Butch Johnson fumbles it. And I don't know who got it yet. Dallas. Butch, in fairness to him, was looking into a bright sunshine, and the ball came out of the shadows and into the sunshine, and you know how difficult that can be sometimes.
They want to hear 60,000 people sigh. Everybody really, this is a muff so far, and now the battle for control. Good teams seem to have the ball come right under them, though, don't they?
I need to correct one thing. That was not Butch Johnson. It was Steve Wilson back there looking into that difficult sun. Harry Smith is number 45 for St. Louis coming off. Roger Staubach, the quarterback, at his own 29. Newhouse and Dorsett, the runners. 2 tight end situation with Saldi and Dupree both into the game. Dorsett. Ken Green came up and hit him.
And played it pretty well. Kenny Green had to take on the fullback Newhouse, who really is a guard at about 225 and low. Good defensive play.
Bears 7-3 over Minnesota first quarter score.
And don't forget this team against the rush, the Cardinals, have been very stubborn. 121 yards rushing is all football teams have been averaging. See what Roger can do.
Dorsett got 3, so it's 2nd and 7. Dupree. To the Cardinal 33. Ken Stone knocked him out of bounds.
Roger sneaked Billy Joe right behind Kurt Alleman, number 50, the linebacker. Watch number 50 to the left of your screen, and suddenly you'll see 89 show up. He might have delayed about a count getting there. How a big man like that can disappear, I don't know.
Well, the first quarter has disappeared. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas.
Cardinals had a pretty good first quarter. They have about 100 yards total offense. Hart is 4 for 10 for 37. And I don't know if Roger Staubach really has figured out that 34 defense the Cardinals have thrown at him.
Sometimes that's such a change of pace that it's difficult to adjust to. First down, Dallas at the moment at the Cardinal 34. Staubach has Newhouse and the man with the ball, Dorsett. Dorsett stumbles. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage by one of the Cardinal linebackers, number 59, Calvin Favron,
who's playing extremely well. That's where the Cardinals have really been hit as defensively. They missed Carney a lot. They've just had about 7 starters that have not been able to play. And in this league, if you don't have your 11 best at a time out there, especially against a team like Dallas, it gets to be long.
By the way, that Steve Little 51-yard field goal earlier, the first one he hit, ties the Cardinal record, which was set and held by Jim Bakken against Cleveland back in 1964.
And beats your old record by what, another yard?
1 yard, yeah.
What's a yard?
Yeah.
36 inches, that's what it is. I knew it is.
Staubach looking for a screen pass and has it well set. Dorsett to the 20. Dorsett to the 15. First and 10, Dallas. Cowboy is down on the far side of the field, and now he's up.
He's mad because he didn't make the block. Rafferty and Fitzgerald both went for the same defenseman. Now watch number 62. He's made the snap, takes care, tries to control Davis, and now they're slipping out. I'll tell you, for a 255-pounder, Fitzgerald really gets on the outside. A great block in the open field.
That's some offensive line Dallas has. They call themselves 4 Irishmen and a Scot.
That's right.
It is Donovan, Fitzgerald, Rafferty, Cooper, and Herbert Scott. Fitzgerald says there are 2 kinds of people in the world, those that are Irish and those who wish they were. Dorsett breaks a couple down inside the 10. Hallerman, I think, knocked him out of bounds, yes.
There are few big guards that are better than Rafferty, number 64 anymore, too. Watch the Penn Stater stay on his feet and actually let Dorsett climb over his fanny and get into some open territory.
There's an injured Cardinal over on the far side of the field, and boy, that's been an unfortunate but familiar sight of the Cardinals this year. They have really had a rash of injuries. A lot of teams around the NFL have been hit by injuries, but none harder than Bud Wilkinson's team.
This one's walking off, though. That's Kenny Green, the second-year safety man, and a fine player.
Monday night on CBS, it's 2nd and 5 at the Cardinal 10 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Will they stick it on down, or will they try to throw this ball on second and 5?
I think they'll throw it.
I think Roger will go. Tony Hill's to the left, and Mr. Pearson's to the right.
And he has Laidlaw and Dorsett as his running backs. All good receivers, by the way. He'll use Dorsett. Dorsett gets none.
Boy, talk about penetration. Roy Green came under somebody. The safety man was on the line of scrimmage. Looks like the St. Louis Computer wins this one. Watch where number 25 comes from to make this tackle. Yeah, I don't know. Still don't know where he looked like he was pulling with the offensive right guard.
Came around behind somebody. Cardinals make some changes, and so do the Cowboys now. See, if he had listened to us, he would have thrown it.
Be in good shape.
Now he's got his receiving core in there, and now he calls a timeout. The core is confused. Dallas takes a timeout. So that'll mean they have 2 left in this half.
It seems to me like Dallas is not really on all cylinders as far as concentration today. Do they seem like they're going through the motions a little bit?
No question about it. They do not look as sharp as they did last Sunday night against Los Angeles.
Of course, they have so many national telecasts that their hours are... They should get extra pay for Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night,
Sunday Saturday games.
Yeah. A couple of scrimmages on Friday morning, probably.
CBS has a sports special coming your way, the Turf Classic, next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Jack Whitaker, the host, and his usual supporting cast that do such an excellent job of reporting horse racing. And next Saturday would be something special. Roger Staubach over talking to Tom Landry. As you mentioned before, Tom Brookshire, he's 37 years old. Somebody asked him how much longer he wanted to play. And he said 5 more years, because by the time I'm 42, Tom Landry has promised me he'll let me call my own plays.
And, of course, Tom Landry, he doesn't ever talk about retirement either, does he?
Doesn't have to, as good as he looks. 14-13, New England has come back over Miami, and the Patriots lead by 1.
Sam Cunningham with a 1-yard touchdown run for the Patriots. They are very much alive in AFC.
That's a very key game. They were tied for first place going into that contest. Staubach does not shotgun it. Comes straight back. Cardinals blitzing. Billy Joe Dupree, a spectacular catch.
And Roger Staubach went down. And as you people might remember that saw the Rams game, Dallas really picks up a blitz beautifully. A lot of people try to put pressure on him. Watch Roger stand in there, and a great grab as Billy Joe, the old Michigan State basketball player, just plays with it until he gets control.
Just a matter of him being about 5 inches taller than Ken Stone, who was trying to cover him man on man.
Touchdown number 4 for Billy Joe.
And a super individual effort. Raphael Septien with Danny White holding. It's 10-6, Dallas. Look at the touchdown catch by Dupree.
You're behind Roger now. You can see the extra blocking and the big rush put on from the outside by number 38, and Roger stayed right in there. Nelson had a pretty good shot at him, and that might be one of the best catches I've seen Billy Joe Dupree have since we've been doing.
Dallas drive for that touchdown, 70 yards, 7 plays. They kept it 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Here's Septien kicking.
Oh.
That might be his best kickoff ever.
Wow. Try that for distance, pal. That went out of the end zone over the white line. You know what Dallas does pretty
80
well?
yards.
And they eat that ball up. 35 minutes. They're the #1 team holding the football.
In civilian clothes, you just saw perhaps as we panned along the Dallas bench, John Dutton, who has not been activated yet. There he is.
He's bigger without pads on than a lot of big people. Look, he's standing right in there next to young Thornton and those people.
Well, look at Danny White next to him. Larry Bethea.
A #1 and #2 next year sounds like a Tex Ram Gilbrandt pretty good move to me.
That is Theodis Brown, who's in the backfield for the Cardinals on that last carry. Randy White made the tackle, so they've got 2 rookies now in the Cardinal backfield. The Jets have gone back ahead of Oakland 14-10.
Richard Todd to Wesley Walker, a young man who can catch it and lug it.
He might be the most dangerous deep receiver anywhere. Jim Hart, screen pass to Theodis Brown. He's got 2 blockers out in front. Randy White chases, but Theodis Brown has the first down. Randy Hughes and Cliff Harris. Jim Hart picking himself up.
Pretty good looking play. You want to see some different looks. Watch this. He'll fake the draw, try to hold it, make him think it's going to be a deep pass, and now slides it back out. Watch Collins, number 66, make a great block out there on Kyle, and he cuts off D.D. Lewis, too. St. Louis has a lot of talented people at the skilled positions. Be very careful with them.
Banks and Collins both did a superb job of acting on that last screen pass. Most linemen are inclined to not hold their blocks quite long enough, and they give it away. Theodis Brown in the arms of Larry Cole.
A lot of elbows being thrown out there. Let's talk a little bit about the Dutton maneuver. The Cowboys are noted for never giving up their 1s and 2s, but suddenly they thought it was a time to do it for an established great player, a super player. So what do you think about it?
Well, when you know how good he is or has been, and I'm certain thoroughly checked his physical condition before they made that move, you got a proven player. I don't think it's a bad move at all.
And when he's motivated, he can really play defensive end.
2nd and 6. Mel Gray comes in motion behind Hart now. So the safety blitz, and you see Hart sidearm that pass to get away from it.
A little added pressure.
You know, people, you're talking about Dallas giving up first-round draft choices. In the beginning, they did a lot of that. They gave up a first-round choice to get Eddie LeBaron. They gave up a first-round choice to get Bob Lilly. Another one for Ralph Neely.
They traded Golden Richards and got in that draft choice a fellow named Tony Hill. That's not a bad trade there either.
No. Gray and Tilley split wide to the right. In the bright sunshine, Bob Young is back in the offensive line. Anderson and Theodis Brown, the running backs behind Hart. Tilley starts to stay in the block. Thomas Henderson bats it away from Anderson.
Talk about a good-looking defensive unit. Cowboys that time, they double covered every deep receiver. Watch this move now. If your man doesn't come, you blitz. If your man comes, you go cover him. On this side, Aaron Mitchell was going ahead and blitzing. On that side, well, I'll tell you, Henderson made it look awfully easy.
He said the defense that they played in college when he was at Langston, they didn't know too much about sophistication that Dallas has. They called it 5-2 sick 'em.
They only won one game his senior year, didn't they?
That's right.
And that was the inter-squad contest, right?
Steve Wilson. Well, it's short punt this time. Wilson lets it bounce, and it takes a real Cardinal bounce. Still down to the 5.5-yard line, where the Cowboys will have almost 95 yards to move for another touchdown. What looked like not a very good kick by Pat Summerall of Tom Brookshire at Texas Stadium in Dallas. Look at this score.
Joe Theismann just scooted in from 1 yard out, and the Redskins are anything but dead. 14-0 they lead.
They weren't that far off the pace either going in. They could tie the Eagles if they can win. Their record was 5-2. Philadelphia, of course, tied with Dallas at 6-1. Cowboys lead here 10-6. Drew Pearson comes in motion. Dorsett slants up the middle for 2 or 3, but he's hit very quickly, this time by Alleman.
Good. Alleman's playing extremely well in there, having to call the defensive signals. Tommy Bettis signals out on the field, the defensive stuff. And, of course, Rogers always looking to that Dallas side where Coach Landry has his hookup upstairs. Mr. Ermal Allen and people, huh?
And fullbacks Scott Laidlaw and Robert Newhouse are bringing in the plays.
Keeps them lean.
They like it. 2nd and 8. At the 8. Pitch back to Laidlaw with Dorsett blocking out in front. Laidlaw gets a couple, but no more. Cardinal defensive units playing tough. Eric Williams led that charge.
This time the left guard stands up like they're going to go straight ahead in sort of a delayed outside toss off this. Laidlaw, the young man from Stafford, really doesn't have anywhere to go. And you're right, they're trying to put a tough defensive series on and then maybe block a punt or at least get good field position. And the kicking game is becoming very important in this league.
A lot of evidence that that's true right here. 2 field goals for St. Louis, 1 for Dallas already.
And that big punt by Little.
Here is Staubach operating out of the shotgun with Pearson back there with him. Back in his own end zone. Caught by Jay Saldi. And Saldi has the first down, Dallas. Harry Smith on the coverage.
And watch Jankowski, number 78, come and put the rush on Roger. Go right over the blocker. And Roger stands right in there and throws the completion and then goes down. Let's see if it's 76 or 78. It might be Charlie Davis that gets there. Whoever it was, he made good contact with Roger.
Preston Pearson got a good block on Mike Dawson. Rare that he's kept in the block. That time he was. Ball is all the way out to the 20 where Dallas has a 1st and 10. They lead 10-6. Dorsett back against the grain and almost breaks out of the pack. He got about 6 yards, 5 perhaps on that play. Roy Green, the tackler.
That must be something that they dug out of the movies. I'm talking about Ermal Allen and people like that for Dallas. That's the original play, the first play that Dorsett ducked out and made the big gainer on. And there's something they picked up where somebody overcompensates, either the nose man, and they were looking for it to happen. That time it just didn't quite come off.
You look at a play like that develop, and I'm sure you're right about them figuring it. But there are very few backs who could make that maneuver. 2nd and 5. And Drew Pearson will come out of what looked like a short punt formation in motion. Staubach with good protection this time. Has Tony Hill and has it. Tony Hill does a little dance. Over on the sideline, another Dallas first down. Steve Neal shoved him out of bounds.
Pretty good play. Roger fakes it. Dorsett does not set up the block really seriously. Roger has time, and this is the 6 pattern all the way across. And what does he have on his license plate? I think Hill has dial 80.
And I'll be there.
He is some kind of a receiver.
He goes out. Tony Hill does, and he is replaced by Jay Saldi, who lines up right behind the other tight end, Billy Joe Dupree. You saw the sign, Cowboys looking good. We hope that's what CBS looks like. Fumble, but I think Newhouse might have been down. Yes. Keith Simmons was the first to hit him.
Pretty good looking drive, considering that little punt bounced deep into the territory. Some teams would have been content just to run one first down and then punt it back out and play even in the middle of the field. Not the Cowboys. They figured, well, we've got to go 93 for this one.
We saw Newhouse go out. That means that Laidlaw is in the backfield now with Dorsett. 6 out of 9 for Roger Staubach. 97 yards. Touchdown pass to Billy Joe Dupree. Rafferty in front of Dorsett, but he never got a chance to use that block. Keith Simmons, number 70, in the red, was the first one to take him down, and good defense.
St. Louis is really attacking from the defensive spot. They're coming off the ball and penetrating, which is sometimes dangerous, but always exciting. And boy, the Cardinals, they continue to just rip and hit, don't they? Nothing easy.
They must have made enough of a defensive change to confuse somebody, because nobody even touched Simmons as he came off the ball. And he was on Dorsett quickly. Tony D, 10 carries.
Coming off 3 games in a row of 100 yards plus.
Ron Springs and Preston Pearson now in with Roger Staubach shotgun formation. Cardinals fake a blitz, but Staubach drops it. Steps up into the pocket, throws. Bush. He shakes a tackle. Another. Brooks Johnson to the 25-yard line of St. Louis. Carl Allen finally took him down.
Talk about some pass protection. That time against a nickel defense, Roger had time to dribble the ball 3 times, take a jump shot, and then pass it. Excellent pass blocking. Look at Rafferty, 64, and Cooper, 61. There's Pearson helping him out. Now it's under control, and Butch makes his 3rd catch of the year. Looks like he's healthy again. Some player, will you ever forget the catch he makes in the Super Bowl against Denver?
That's the one that really broke it open. First down, Dallas at the Cardinal 30. They lead 10-6. Newhouse and Dorsett, the backfield tandem. Dorsett tried to cut back, tried to spin back to the other side. Mike Dawson cut him off. Here you talk about what a good year Staubach is having, and he is. But take a look at the receiving core he's got. Hill, Pearson, Johnson, Dupree, Saldi.
And they're fresh. I looked at the injury report the league puts out. Dallas Cowboys, no injuries to report. That's frightening.
They have a 3rd tight end that they think very highly of, named Crosby, that rarely gets into any action except on special teams. Throw back to Dupree, who juggled it again. He's hit by Carl Allen and knocked loose.
Tell you what, Billy Joe wants them all. He almost made this catch. I don't know how. Here he blocks, checks through, actually goes through the offensive line. Talk about battling for a 5-yarder. Look how many times he does it before Allen shocks him and knocks him out from underneath it. 52nd consecutive game for a tight end.
Tampa Bay 14, Green Bay 3. Here now in the 4th quarter.
Marco, a 42-yard field goal.
Preston Pearson, Ron Springs. Staubach in the shotgun. Comes out of the shotgun. And runs and struggles for the first down, and he comes very near to making it. What a remarkable effort. Mike Dawson hooked him, but Staubach might have struggled to that first down.
The former Navy quarterback wanted to hit Butch Johnson, but he's covered. And this is the one thing that Tom Landry says he doesn't like. But Roger still thinks he can run with it. Who is that? Big Dawson chasing him, right?
Right.
What an effort. What an effort.
Cowboy first down at the Cardinal 14.
He's averaging over 5 yards a carry again this year.
That last leap as he stumbled was what did it, and that can only be done by a fine athlete. First down, Cowboys. Newhouse on a misdirection. Spins, he's hit by Alleman.
Right. They pulled like they were going to sweep to the right with a misdirection. He sort of run behind it. And again, Newhouse comes out of that sun, like one of the sunspots. You might not even see him until he's already on you. Cardinals are tough against that run.
Buffalo Bills have tied Baltimore 7-7.
Joe Ferguson, a 21-yard TD pass to Brown. Chuck Knox is still building.
And he'll get it done. Second, they need 8. Laidlaw to about the 10. Again, it's Alleman, number 50. Two teams trying to find themselves, the Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. The Bears lead it 14-3.
Bob Avellini with a 2-yard touchdown pass to Walter Payton.
Cowboys face a 3rd and 6, and they have their receiving core in now. Dorsett goes out. Wide to the left comes Butch Johnson. Wide right, Drew Pearson. And the rest of the ones that can catch it.
Drew Pearson hasn't caught a pass yet, has he?
Not yet.
Touchdown number 7 for Tony Hill, and catch number 31. Rogers straight drop back, both receivers running the deep sideline into the end zone. Boy, he just ran by Lee Nelson, who was the up back, supposed to take the inside away. Where did Roger Worley go? I didn't see the cornerback.
He must have been man-to-man on somebody else. They had 5 receivers operating on that pattern. Raphael Septien with Danny White holding. Cowboys lead the Cardinals 16-6. Change that to 17. The touchdown again.
You're from behind the St. Louis defense. Remember, you don't have much time to put pressure on. So now Rogers throwing dummy scrimmage stuff. Tony makes sure he gets 3 feet down.
Tony Hill is your friend.
Oh, Whistling Ray. He got me in trouble one day by shooting a cardinal. Remember when he shot that bird?
Yeah, I do. There's Septien's high kickoff. Chasing Roy Green back into the end zone about 5 yards deep, where out he comes. And out he goes. This might be an all-time record. He was 5 yards deep in the end zone. No flags anywhere.
105 yards for Green, who came in average.
It seems to me I remember Ollie Matson going one time just about that far.
Here it is. Here's the kickoff and run back. We commented how Septien was kicking so deep. 107 by Terry Metcalf.
A couple of good blocks by Terry Metcalf, 107 yards.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I stand corrected. Longest kickoff return. Frank Sino had one for 105 yards back in 46. Ollie Matson in 56.
Yeah, I was playing in that game.
So that ties.
That ties Ollie Matson's. We'll see what they officially rule it. And if anybody ever deserves any oxygen, it's Mr. Green. 17-13.
Did he get into overdrive at about the 50?
Wow, he got a couple of good blocks, too. Here is what has now been established as an NFL record kickoff return by Roy Green.
108 yards. Al Carmichael with Green Bay and 56 out of 106.
And Nolan Smith from Kansas City.
Henderson State rookie. You're right, he got some good blocks that broke him out. But 108 yards, and that's a new NFL record. Spike it.
It was back behind the lettering. It says Texas Stadium back in the back. And our word from our main man here in Dallas, Doug Todd, is that it was 108 yards. And that's where he started from. An all-time NFL record. Rookie from Henderson State, Roy Green, has put the Cardinals back in it. Ron Springs now from 1 yard deep in the Cowboy end zone. He makes it back to the 20 where his feet are really cut out from under him by Thomas Lott. One more look at a record. And
one more time. Let's see if we can pick up some of the blocks, Patrick. Pretty good one on Cosby right there. I believe that was by Theodis Brown, wasn't it, the fullback?
Yes.
Septien gets wiped out here.
That was by number 36, Rod Phillips.
Fullback that used to play with the Rams. From now on, it's just hit the tape cleanly and hard. What a play.
Really, if you stop and think about it, that was a high kick from Septien. Most coaches would have told you not to bring it out of there.
They might have been yelling not to.
Staubach with his Cowboy lead now down to just 4. Lofts it high and it's intercepted by Ken Stone. Stone down the sideline. And the Cardinals come roaring right back. They'll have it at the Cowboy 21. Tony Hill
hurt himself making the tackle. That time Roger did not want to throw the ball. He wasn't sure whether he wanted to run it. Watch it, indecision. And Stone, by the way, in the last 18 games for St. Louis, has 18 turnovers. That's his 6th interception this year. Used to play with Washington and has really made himself a reputation in St. Louis. Great play.
Pass was intended for Jay Saldi, I guess you could say, but it was a pass that possibly or almost certainly shouldn't have been thrown. Theodis Brown and Otis Anderson, the running backs, and Hart goes right to work. Caught up the middle by tight end Gary Paris. Inside the 15.
Some throw by Hart. Talk about the fastest gun. We see him throw sidearm, under rush. Now he's got a bad arch on that left foot. Watch him slip this one sideways, right in like a handoff. Classic quarterback.
Over talking to Bud Wilkinson now. Right back in the picture.
Some
highly recommended. At the 14, Otis Anderson. Inside the 10 to about the 7. Randy Hughes, the safety man, made the tackle.
Great thing they say about Anderson from the eye is his change of direction. Watch him shuffle right here. Little skip move. Jimmy Brown and about 2 other backs are the only people I can remember that had that ability to make the movement in the hole and slide.
1st and goal, Cardinals. At the 8, Hart fumbles. The Big Red gets it back, but just barely. Keith Workman put the big Hulk on it. And the Cardinals burn a timeout. They have 1 left. It broke the old record of 106. Held by Green Bay's Al Carmichael against Chicago in 1956 and by Kansas City's Nolan Smith against Denver in 1967. So
I only went down under 1 kickoff in my life, and it was Buddy Young went 103, and they took me right off the team.
I couldn't get off that team. The Otis Brown and Otis Anderson, sorry, Armstrong. Another good runner. Knocked away from Pat Tilley at the last moment by Benny Barnes.
You don't call that guts. If a cornerback makes that play in the end zone, you call it courage. You've got to forget your man and go ahead and swat it away. And the one thing Barnes has always had is really raw courage. Great play.
He illustrates that so often on the special teams.
He even scored a touchdown this year, picking up the fumble and
First of his career, wasn't it?
Swivel hipping down the sidelines.
Against Minnesota.
Is he from Stanford, too?
1 of 4 on the Cowboy roster.
Amazing.
Third down coming up. 11. Ball at the 11. And a rush from Randy White. Hart had no chance. Jim Hart was really popped.
Looked like Randy White came right through where Bob Young and Workman were trying to take care of the defensive stunt. Watch the center of your screen and see where 54 comes. He goes to the outside, and Young gets cut off. And you can see Harvey Martin cuts off Workman. I think Jim Hart is really hurt. If Randy White grabs you like this, it's expiration time. That is tough.
The other Dallas rusher was the rookie, Bruce Thornton. And if Randy White hadn't been there, I think he might have. Jim Hart. Remember, he had a separated shoulder last year.
That's it. He's moving around a little bit.
That turf is not cushioned very much. Very hard. Looks like now it's encouraging. He's just got the wind knocked out of him. Next week, the Cowboys against Pittsburgh, a Super Bowl rematch. New Orleans against Washington, Tampa Bay, Minnesota. Chicago at San Francisco, Green Bay at Miami, Giants at Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Cincinnati.
There's Jimmy Hart, Southern Illinois. He's been in the same town, in the same uniform for a long time. He's 6 for 15 for 55 yards today. And he wasn't supposed to play all week. They said he might not play at all.
Steve Little with Roger Worley holding just outside the 30. So it'll be just over a 40-yard attempt for Little. Block. The ball goes into the end zone.
I believe Thornton got it, number 77. Boy, does he have enthusiasm, doesn't he?
He would indicate that he got it.
You can usually tell who has it because they have the stitches, the imprinted on their arms or hands. I believe it's Thornton. He thinks he got it.
And he goes way up. It was either Thornton or Doug Cosby.
Cosby, of course, is the 6'6" tight end who goes up over the back of maybe Thornton. Uses the broad back.
And Cosby does get credit for blocking it. So Dallas will take over back at the original line of scrimmage just outside the 20, and Newhouse ducks under Keith Simmons and Kurt Allerman.
It's illegal to assist and get somebody. I can remember when one time the Rams put Don Burroughs up on somebody's shoulders, remember? And they walked around like they were on stilts.
On top of Big Daddy Lipscomb, wasn't it?
Blocked it, too. Almost carried the skinny defensive back through the upright.
We're higher than the goalpost.
That is illegal to assist, right?
It is now. It didn't used to be. That'll be the final play of the first half, and what a first half. Cowboys lead the Cardinals 17-13. Dallas leads the Cardinals 17-13. Here, let's check out some of the other scores, Tom.
The contest I mentioned, 17-13, the Cowboys over the Cardinals, but the story here is a return by Roy Green, coming right up the middle for the Cardinals from 8 yards in. Coaches usually will say, anything beyond 3, forget about it. Let's take it on the 20. And he made a great move there near midfield and then simply outran the rest of the pursuing Cowboys, so the Cardinals continue to play the Cowboys very, very tight. Irv, you've been checking the record book on this story. Have we got a record on that return? Can you find that?
The old record was 106 yards, set by Al Carmichael from the Green Bay Packers versus Chicago Bears, October 7th, 1956 was 106. The new record now for kickoff return is 108 yards, and you just saw it.
Al Carmichael, what a great name.
The voice of Frank Gleber you can hear in the background. Don Perkins. Perkins. Boy, was he a good one.
Oh, he didn't hit that hole very fast, did he? They've already introduced George Andre.
From 1965, at wide receiver.
Check the next one.
The all-time leading Cowboys receiver, number 22, Bullet Bob Hayes.
Standing ovation time.
With the score, Dallas 17, St. Louis 13 at the half. We'll return to Texas Stadium after this word from your local station. Bob Hayes and I come from the same part of Florida. I watched him develop in high school. I was around when he went to Florida A&M. I watched him become the world's fastest human, Bullet Bob Hayes, become the all-time leading Cowboy receiver. I think everybody knows just about what has happened to Bob, but I don't think anybody's really delved into why you think it happened.
Well, Pat, it's just a mixture of people, I would say, but it was kind of a very unfortunate situation. It was, it wasn't directly, basically a victim of circumstances, and it happened, when you're famous, you got a big name, these things will happen. But I looked at it from every angle, and I know that I made a mistake. Mm-hmm. But I'm a big boy, I've grown, I'm past that now, and that I'm just waiting to get out, and when I get out of here, just do what I can do best.
Bob, I've heard one quote by you, or supposed to be by you, that said that you thought you tried to help and please too many people, and that was one of the problems.
Well, no doubt about it. I'm kind of a guy, I have a weakness when it comes to folks being happy or being sad. I'd rather see someone with a smile on their face than sad, and as I said, just a victim of circumstances that I did try to help a guy, and that in the results, I ended up going to prison.
In prison, what is the life like? Most of the inmates I know are younger than you are. How do they react to you, the name Bob Hayes, and the fact that you are their senior a little bit?
Well, I'm about basically the older guy on the farm, and those guys, the little boy, they respect me very highly. And, of course, during this part of the year, the season's going on, all the eyes are on me because, thanks to you, thanks to Tom, all you guys, my name come up quite a bit. And that this give those guys I lift, plus I work with them every day in the gym, giving them, teaching them different games, racquetball, ping pong, weightlifting, basketball. And they get a chance to, not only read about, a famous guy, but also just go there and can touch him, and they feel a part of me. So they have given me the utmost respect.
Do you ever get down? Do you ever get to the point where you think that life has been a little bit unfair?
I do. I get the blues, especially, missing my wife, I'm missing my two kids, I'm missing my friends, just the free world, in general. But outside of that, I'm doing well there.
Mm-hmm. What about plans for when all that comes to an end? What's Bob Hayes going to do then?
Well, I have a buddy of mine here that owns a computer company, and I have been offered a job through Corporate Track, and this firm, it caters to law firms, and when I get out of here, it's a lot of lawyers around the country will be seeing me because I'm going to be knocking the doors down.
You ever think about writing a book?
Sure, I'm into that, too. We're going to get a book going. I'm gathering all of my materials now. We hoping that we have been talking to some people going into a mini TV series, the pros and cons of Bob Hayes, and everything is looking up. We got the right step forward.
Bob, one thing finally, what would be your advice to a young man growing up in these times?
Well, I think the young man, first of all, he got to get an education and be familiarized with basically everything that's around him. I think he got to be matured enough to know to make a decision from right and wrong. And I honestly feel if a kid could stay out of trouble, get a good education and get the best, just doesn't go there and make a C group. Go and do the best you can. There's opportunities out here, and the doors are open. I feel if you're qualified, you can get the chance to become a successful individual.
Bob, we've seen you climb the mountain once. Climb it again.
I am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The remarks of Bob Hayes.
Makes all of us stop and think a little bit, right? Well done, Patrick.
By the way, he is eligible for parole in February. And he is, of course, very hopeful. Here is Tom Landry, the only coach the Cowboys have ever had.
In darn good shape still.
The old-timers, or the ex-players, I should say, have been introduced. And now we'll hear some remarks from a remarkable man, Tom Landry.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a rare privilege that I've had through all these years to coach all these outstanding players who represent hundreds of athletes who have meant so much to the Dallas Cowboys. And I have to say that I've been pretty lucky to have stayed here long enough to coach them. But I do want to take this opportunity, though, this few seconds that I have, to pay tribute to all of these players for the Dallas Cowboys that have done so much to make the Cowboys, what they are today. For all of us who have spent our life in football, we recognize that the bottom line in professional football is what takes place right here on the playing field. So I believe that any applause that is to be given for the Dallas Cowboys and their success belongs to the players that have played for the Dallas Cowboys. Thank you.
Team in the whole league that has a tougher schedule is Cincinnati. Well, this time he's 9 yards deep, and he will not bring it out. That's Roy Green, who returned one 108 yards in the first half.
He had a chance to break his own record in the same afternoon.
Wouldn't that have been something?
They probably had a big ball and chain till he not to come out of the end zone.
I'll bet you, Thomas, it'll be a long time before that record is broken.
The other ones lasted a long time.
25 years almost.
Let's see if this offense now has decided to come out. Let's see if this offense now has decided to come out and run the football on a steady basis. They're only down 4 points. Good field position here. 20-yard line's all right.
Wayne Morris and Otis Anderson, the running backs. And here's Anderson. Burrows ahead for 3 of 4.
The Dallas defense is starting to shut down the run more each week. The average now is 4.2 coming into this game, a try. And in another week or so, it'll probably be down around 4 or less. And by playoff time, it'll be where it usually is, about a 3-5 or so.
And don't forget the acquisition that they made.
Mr.
John Dutton will help. Thomas Henderson.
I don't think there's any way of explaining what a great loss personally and of course as a team player that J.V. Kane was. He was one of the most talented tight ends in football, the former Colorado Buffalo, and that of course is the black armband that the Cardinals wear. But he was not only a great person but a splendid athlete that would give Jimmy Hart one more big piece of attack.
It'll be a third down now. Ball at the 24-yard line. They need 6. And Hart, who took a lick the last time he went back to pass, probably remembers. Chile in motion. Hart this time with good protection out to Anderson. He gets away from Mike Hegman. He does not get away from Randy White. And Benny Barnes also helps out.
Talk about Prometheus bound. You should see what Randy White did. He moved a defensive left in on the 3 for the rush. He bounces off 2 or 3 players. Watch the left part of your screen. You'll see 54 sort of bounce in like a big bowling ball. There's 54. Now he forces the throw. Hart unloads it. Now watch 54 come over and somehow get into pursuit of a halfback who can run a 4.40. Watch 54 come up from behind and make the tackle.
First down, St. Louis, just outside the 30. Hart again will throw under the pressure of Randy Hughes, and Thomas Henderson gets the sack.
Well, we've been blitzed in the booth up here.
Got to look at a
right around here. The camera.
This is Charlie Waters, the great strong safety man.
Okay, you want to talk about this replay, huh?
How about working on television?
Well, the key to us beating the Cardinals is to get the pressure on the quarterback, and here it is. Third down plays, Cardinals are great at it. We're good at defending it. I think we had a little blitz on here. Yeah, that's Thomas making the trap.
Boy, he can blitz, too. Of course, he's a very quick person, huh?
No, he's a great blitzing linebacker, and we utilize him in that respect.
Is Hart tough, though, with the quick drop and all that he
well,
normally
his timing,
gets?
1, 2, 3, and throw. That's what he thinks. There it is.
Good demonstration of Jimmy Hart in action, huh?
There's your buddy Cliff Harris that made the tackle on Gary Paris.
From the end zone now. Got a strange defense. You had Aaron Mitchell in there, number 34. What's he playing? One of the upbacks is a nickel?
They move him in the 4-0 situation, obvious passing downs, and take out 2 linebackers, and so we have a bunch of defensive backs in there.
It'll be 3rd and 5 as Jim Hart has his Cardinals up to the line of scrimmage at their own 35. 11:49 left to play, 3rd quarter. Cowboys lead at 17-13. Tilley in motion. Side handoff, Anderson. The ball is gone, and the Cowboys have it.
Was that Benny Barnes with the recovery?
Somebody with very quick hands, and that would be Benny Barnes.
We're talking about this great running back. What about young Anderson, Charlie? Now, you didn't get a chance to try to tackle him earlier. What about him?
He's tough, and sometimes when you get that second effort like that, you're taking a chance on getting a fumble. That's what happened there. That's the first break I think we've had. Now, they've got all the braces game.
This is a final score. The Redskins beat the Eagles 17-7. So they've tied the Eagles, and we'll see what happens to the Cowboys.
Puts the ball right here in the court, right in Texas, doesn't it?
Baltimore 14-13. You saw that score. At the 41, there's Jay Saldi. And they operate this time with 3 tight ends, and Dorsett cuts back inside to about 36, stopped by Eric Williams.
Is Newhouse at 100%, do you think, Charlie Waters? Is he really back 100% yet?
I don't think so. He got hurt in the first game with the Cardinals, and he is yet to come back at full speed, because I haven't seen him break the tackles like I've seen him break them in the past, and I just don't think he's there yet. Boy, Coach Landry really loves to use those tight ends. He loves having 3 tight ends on his offensive attack.
Especially those that look like giraffes.
Like Cosby, you mean? He's lined up on the right side. 2nd down, they need 6 for a first. Laidlaw on a misdirection will have it just about. He'll be very near a first down. How about Charlie Waters? How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great, considering I'm getting better. Looking to the future, 1980.
We heard that your bride was trying to get you a job just to get you out of the house. Now you're around all the time.
I'm driving her crazy. I'm glad you guys had me up here to talk about football. She said, I didn't think I'd have to listen to it since you weren't playing.
We also heard a rumor that you might consider retiring. Do you give that any thought?
Well, it depends on whether I heal or not. If I heal up and get myself ready, then in around April, I'll have to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Take it from a couple of us that have done it. Don't do it till you have to, but when it's time to walk away from it, you can find a way, just like the old-timers that came back. They look pretty good, by the way, didn't they?
Yeah, they're looking good, trotting out there.
Look prosperous.
Fastest I've seen Jethro move in years.
That was a first down, by the way. Dallas leads at 17-13, and Newhouse, the motion man. Dorsett, the spin back. He spun away from a couple. Staubach was out where he was in a position to block, but they did not over-pursue that time.
And it points out that if you have these kind of people like Dorsett, you can put in these kind of plays. It starts out to the right. The man of motion's already gone. Now, what do you call this? 38 naked out of the eye? What is the terminology on this, Charlie?
I think it's just taking full advantage of Dorsett's quickness. And you got to love Coach Landry for having a wide-open offense like that. He comes up with tricks like that every week.
You're right. There's something different just about every week. New Orleans 17-0 over Detroit. We had heard that Dick Nolan might be in trouble at New Orleans, but it doesn't look like it now. That was a bad throw. Drew Pearson, the intended receiver. We have 9:41 left, 3rd quarter. And we've got a chance to visit with Cowboys All-Pro safety man Charlie Waters. You and Cliff Harris came the same year, didn't you?
1970. End up having to compete for the same job. We enjoy playing, though. Sure do. He still does enjoy playing.
So it'll be 3rd and 10, and they operate this time with Roger Deep, shotgun. Ron Springs and Preston Pearson operate alongside. blitz. Roger almost lost his head and almost threw an interception.
Looked like Springs was supposed to go inside, and if nothing came, then come back out and take the outside blitzing, the dogging linebacker. Of course, as a rookie, you can't expect everything, right, Charlie?
Well, he's a super ball player, and we utilize him an awful lot, but I guess it's just an obvious rookie mistake. He's supposed to pick up that blitzing linebacker to the outside, and you see him taking a shot on Roger right there.
I bet Roger tells him about it just nicely, like, come on, Rook.
That was Fabrin, the linebacker from the Cardinals, that almost took Rogers' helmet with him. So Rafael Septien from 30, call it 38 yards out, 48 make it. He hit one from 51 earlier. That used to be your job, that of the holder, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
A lot of distance, but wide right. Dallas leads St. Louis 17-13. Sure, you've heard us say this before, but that big hole in the roof, Texas Stadium, when it's a bright, sunshiny day like today, causes us problems.
Boy, I've been wondering where the girls were. They're the Dallas cheerleaders.
They'll cause you some problems sometimes, too.
I was going to say.
They'll blind you.
First down. Tilly in motion, Hart back. Hart chased by Larry Cole, has to hurry and throws away, intended for Tilly.
Charlie, most dangerous receiver you've covered, is it Mel Gray when he was having the running through there like a leopard? Is that when it was?
He ranks up there as one of the tough ones. Of course, Harold Jackson, he had a good career against me. And Paul Warfield was a great one. But Gray, when he's healthy, of course, he always says he's not healthy coming and play us. He's notorious for doing that. He always gets well.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Dallas leads St. Louis 17-13. It's Anderson who juggled it coming into the line. He almost lost another one.
Boy, is he strong, though, huh? He still kept control of his body underneath it until he got the ball put away.
Randy White on the tackle.
Charlie Waters, I've been trying to tell people for years that there's nothing like the position of cornerback. I mean, really, it's like you're alone under the polar ice cap, huh?
There is no way to try to describe it to anybody else, any layman out there, any fan that's watching the game. You've got to get out there and experience that one-on-one, that gut check feeling that you have at corner. And your pass defense should be centered around helping your cornerbacks at all times.
2nd and 6. They double Gray and Tilly wide to the right. And now Tilly goes in motion, and 2 Cowboys go with him. Hart. High over Gray, who was a step or two away from Dennis Thurman. Charlie Waters, thank you very much for stopping by. Enjoy the chat.
Thank you, Pat. Thanks
Good
for
luck to
having
you.
me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Looking for next year, 1980.
Okay, Charlie. I'm wondering if Mel Gray didn't break his pattern off. Here's the pass rush. That's Martin now. He's going to work with Wortman. Getting doubled as Anderson helped. Good blocking, and actually Hart had time to load it up. And now we're going to see a little kick right into that sun, into the light.
Steve Wilson back by himself. Will return it if it's returnable for Dallas. Little chasing back in the end zone. Concedes the safety.
That'll be 2 points. That ball cleared everything.
That's a pretty good center if that's Brahaney who snapped it, and it is. A veteran. And Little did the wise thing.
Be a free kick from behind the 20-yard line. But we've said it before, a safety usually ends up being 9 points somewhere along the quarter.
If he tried to recover it and didn't and lost it, and the Cowboys recovered, of course it would have been a touchdown. There is a penalty flag down, I think, because he kicked it. That's an illegal kick that he did, but the penalty flag, I'm just not sure about this situation. And that's what he's going to do.
The free kick. We got good hang time.
He sure did. Tony Hill. And Hill gets back upfield, and Tony cuts back and still stays on his feet. He's to the 50. And out of bounds in Cardinal territory. Ken Stone made the tackle. But the Cowboys will be in Cardinal land when they start with offense.
They tell me that when the upper body of Hill gets up to the legs, that he's going to be one of the strongest players in the team. He's working on the weights and all now to build up the upper body, but look at the leg movement. He shifted his whole body out from underneath the upper part of his torso to get to the outside. He is extremely dangerous.
Apparently there was no penalty after Steve Little kicked the ball out of the end zone. We thought it was an illegal kick, and there was a flag thrown, but no penalty assessed. We'll check into that a little bit more in detail. Scott Laidlaw and Tony Dorsett, the running backs, and Dorsett swings out wide to the right in front of Staubach, and the throwback is right straight up in the air and up for grabs. Staubach had the ball slip out of his hand. They were trying to throw the ball all the way back across the field to Laidlaw.
Remember, he used to do that. Number 12 used to jump up in the air and throw it back into a center screen, but Pollard was chasing him so quickly to the far side that he really threw sort of a slider. It looked like even a wet pitch, a Vaselino.
And it wound up being a jump ball.
Almost the third interception.
Sometimes you get a little too fancy.
They haven't come back with Tony Hill running the football like they did on the opening play very many times.
Dorsett and Newhouse now the setbacks. And Dorsett will get that play this time. And gets it about 8 yards. Dorsett had 66 on 13 carries before that one. And Tilley and Mel Gray and Jim Hart in audience. And look at this score. Cleveland coming back against Cincinnati 28-27. Fourth quarter. The Jets over Oakland 28-19, and that's the final. New Orleans 17-0 over Detroit, third quarter. It'll be a passing situation. At least that's what the Cardinals think. They'll rush 3 men. They have 4 linebackers, 4 defensive backs. And they blitz that shotgun. Staubach has time. Tony Hill and a well-timed defensive play by Roy Green.
Good play by Green. He waited till the ball touched up and then drilled him. I'll tell you, I'm impressed with the St. Louis defense. They have given away very little.
2 touchdown passes by Roger Staubach, one to Billy Joe Dupree and one to Tony Hill. Field goal by Septien and a safety.
Look who's going back to run this back. Ken Green. What an active young player, huh? Roy Green.
Roy Green. And Danny White punted one time, averaged 42. The leader in the NFC, averaged 50 against the Rams last week. I was about to say he will run with it. Angling for the corner. And Benny Barnes makes the catch on the fly. Benny Barnes is down there. I don't believe I've ever seen that before.
Like he was running a turn-end pattern on the 3-yard line.
7:17 left third quarter. Cowboys 19, Cards 13.
Never been in it.
Texas Stadium. Sellout crowd watching the Cowboys lead the Cardinals 19-13 at the moment. 7 minutes, 17 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Pat Summerall and Tom Brookshire. That's the final score. Baltimore 14-13 over Buffalo. Cowboys automatic some kind of a defense. And whatever they automatic to was successful as Larry Cole is on the bottom of the pile, along with some other members of the
Otis Anderson, the number 1 pick, is now at about 62 yards and not holding in 11 carries. Again, he had the longest run ever from scrimmage against Dallas in that opening game, the 73-yarder. Here you can see Brunig signaling to the gang, don't get trapped. Look out for a trick.
And they tried a trap on Brunig. Randy White smothered it. Hart hit Morris. It looked like the official in the middle might have gotten in the line of sight between Hart and Morris.
Again, Hart's looking right back into the sun from that angle. You'll see how long the shadow is. Here's the quarterback. Harvey Martin coming up the middle. Randy White going to the outside. You're throwing off that blue end zone. You get it off, and the official did get in the way of Morris.
No place to go for the man in the striped shirt. And the ball just appeared all of a sudden. 3rd and 7 situation for Jim Hart and the Cardinals. Deep in their own territory. Line of scrimmage, their own 6. Chili in motion. Mitchell goes with him. Hart almost comes up with a diving attempt at an interception by Benny Barnes. Didn't come up with it, but Hart did well to evade another safety.
And Harvey Martin must be on some kind of wheat germ. Watch this move. Gets rid of Wortman, goes right on the inside. That's the new move that Ernie Stautner said the fans gave him.
The back inside?
Back inside. Said the fans said, hey, Harvey, start getting some sacks. And Harvey started working at it. He's some player.
Back out at midfield is Steve Wilson. Steve Little. Back in the backside of the end zone, right under his own goal post. And Brahaney will take a look this time. We'll check out the hang time. See if the Cowboys try to block it or if they're going to try to set up a return. Line drive kick, and a good one. Wilson breaks away a couple of tackles. Flag is down, and Wilson sticks out his arm to get it in Cardinal territory, but penalty flag is probably going to indicate that there was a clip against Dallas. Lee Nelson made the tackle on Wilson.
Did you see that one quote by Dick Vermeil of the Eagles? The thing that amazed him the most about the Dallas program was how Landry and his staff got all the information to the players, when they got the time to do all this, Coach.
It is so complicated.
No flag. Play was legal as it ran. No flag.
No flag is the indication.
A little applause, too, by people that admit an honest error.
You look at the number of coaches that Tom Landry has on his staff, and it's below the average.
They stay a long time. They get with him, and
well, they get, for the most part, have a pretty good little incentive at the end. Playoff and Super Bowl funds. Just inside Cardinal territory. Staubach gives to Newhouse. Newhouse this time whirls for about 7 with those little short digging steps. Eric Williams and Calvin Favron the tackle.
Only the 4th carry for Newhouse, who had 108 yards rushing against St. Louis in the opener. There he goes. He and his lovely lady had twins, you know. And they said it's not easier to raise 2 than it is 1. They're working 12 hours a day with those 2 twins.
Scott Laidlaw in the backfield. Doug Cosby, the double tight end, second one. Dorsett diving for a first down. The ball was down, and Dorsett, Eric Williams, the tackle.
A good tackling Cardinal defense. They get a hold of you there. Doing a good job of tackling. Linebacker looks like he's hurt there on the ground.
That's Eric Williams, who made the tackle. They have been hit hard at that linebacker position.
Rafferty, fake inside, and then Laidlaw is supposed to seal off. He might go through on the inside linebacker. Rafferty on the outside, and a good tackle. He sort of gets pinched in behind Rafferty, it looks like. He's in pain, too.
Like Worley might have fallen on top of him as well. Both ends of a doubleheader. So check your local listings. 3rd and 2. Dorsett hit hard at the line of scrimmage. It's near a first down. If he's got it, it won't be by much.
Is that Allerman, the linebacker, really stuck him helmet to helmet? That kind sends off a flash inside your head like something from Studio 54 or something. Watch this. Helmet to helmet. That is Allerman, linebacker. That does hurt. You feel that one Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning. We've seen Danny White do everything but punt at times. We've seen him pass, run.
I asked him before the game, you know, he broke his thumb. I asked him if he had any problems with his thumb. It's still taped. And he said none at all. Everything's fine, so he can throw it. He took a look the last time he punted. I think he had some ideas about running. delay of the game penalty against Dallas. Less likely to run now. Information we've been able to get, our producer Bob Stenner was in contact with the NFL office in New York, is that any member of the kicking team can kick the ball out of the end zone in a situation which occurred just a minute ago. So it was not a violation. It was a mistake.
Glad you explained that one. Really worried about that for a while.
Danny White really hits up a rocket. Benny Barnes is going to be down there again. The Cardinals hit him. Henderson does his handspring in the end zone. The Cardinals kept Benny Barnes away from the ball that time.
Perry Smith really racked him up down on the 2-yard line. And the officials are all looking at one another like maybe this is illegal, but nobody dropped anything. Is that Green that did that, or is that...
That is Roy Green.
That is Roy Green that made the shot. Look at Benny. He can't figure out who had the ball.
He didn't signal for a fair catch.
Who turned out the lights?
He doesn't have a right to. San Francisco leading Atlanta. The Falcons out on the West Coast at Candlestick Park. They stayed out there all week in some very bad weather. Mel Gray, Barnes, and Hughes get him out of bounds.
It's only the second catch for Mel Gray. Remember, we saw him leave earlier in that first half, limping and all, but he seems to come back. And he run very swiftly over artificial surface.
Kansas City 3, the Giants nothing. Giants have won 2 in a row. Kansas City's record was 4-3 going in. Looks like Phil Simms has taken over permanently as the Giant quarterback.
I still think the Cardinals are very much in this football game, and Dallas better do something offensively, or Hart will have them right back on top.
It's 19-13. There's a fine play by Larry Cole to upend Otis Anderson.
He's the last member of the Dallas Cowboys of that old no publicity group that used to be here. They didn't want to be interviewed, remember?
Didn't want to be noticed.
Lawless and all of them. Watch to the left of your screen, 63, Larry Cole. Of course, there's been a lot of talk about Dutton. We've talked about it. So Cole gives you about 3 or 4 plays like that every game, just to let you know he's still there and very much alive.
Usually in very crucial situations. That's when number 63 appears. Now the Cowboys go to that 3-man rush. Cole goes out, and Randy White is the left defensive end. And the Cardinals run the ball. And they may have a first down on that effort by Wayne Morris. He hurled over the top, or hurdled himself over the top, put down, and it is a first down.
Of course, the Cowboys haven't done a lot of 3-man defensive stuff, and I don't think you pick it up in 2 or 3 weeks and do it perfectly.
Bud Wilkinson over on the St. Louis sideline.
One of my favorite people. I used to play against his teams at Oklahoma, and even when he would beat you, you somehow felt like it was earned.
Penalty marker goes down, and Hart throws one intended for Anderson. He had nobody open. See what the violation might be.
Randy White looked like a thrashing machine going around that pocket.
A what?
A thrashing machine.
Oh.
I mean, arms and legs. He is.
Referee is Bob Frederick. We have not heard much from him today. This one's against Dallas. Maybe he thrashed offside.
Defense, number 54 offside. First down.
That's the reason he was thrashing. He was mad because he was offsides, baby.
Bud Wilkinson is not unhappy about that.
Quite a few rumors about Bud, whether he was going to perhaps resign St. Louis.
7-0 Seattle over Houston. Yeah, we heard a lot of stuff about that. He says not true. Anderson skates away from a lot of people. Brunig finally managed to hold on to one leg and get him down.
Anderson now at 65 yards rushing, 66. Here it is, the quick draw. Here's the great movement. What a great #1 draft choice. The great thing is he took the money, put it away, and hasn't thought about dollar bills since. He is really a fine competitor. They say he and Theotis, that's Theotis Brown, have the Otis and Theotis show on KMOX in St. Louis. Rather entertaining hour of football discussion.
They just sit down and talk.
Talk about barbecued ribs, whatever.
Yeah. It's amazing the talent that comes out of that University of Miami. Otis Anderson, of course, the first-round draft choice. The Giants have a member of their starting backfield from there last year. Chicago, Minnesota tied 17-17. The two running backs at the University of Miami both won starting jobs in the NFL 1 year later. First down, and Anderson has another carry. Outside the block, and there are flags everywhere. It's going to be holding, I think, against Wayne Morris, or tackling.
Like Morris came in and got Hughes, and had come up, the safety man had come across the line of scrimmage and might have rolled around on him. Now, Tom Henderson claims he was held. Benny Barnes was claiming he was held.
Like it might have stunned Randy Hughes a little bit.
It's not retroactive. You might as well have three guys holding as one.
It's better that way.
With Anderson, you don't have to hold very long either.
Interesting, he went outside the block even that time for the holding. Morris is trying to block Hughes out.
Interesting theory. The offensive line for St. Louis is taking rather large splits, which I think plays into the hands of the Dallas team that's very quick on defense and a lot of sophistication and stunts. St. Louis is doing it. Yes, pretty successful.
2nd and 11 with 1:58 left, third quarter. Dallas 19, Cardinals 13. Gary Parris, the tight end, lines up on the left side, and Hart goes back. It's a three-man rush. Morris gets away from one tackle, gets away from another, and he'll have a St. Louis first down. And there's a big scuffle going on. Dennis Thurman.
How'd Mel Gray end up in the middle of it? Looked like Cliff Harris and Wayne Morris were the originals. And they are a piece of work right now. But people being hit on all sides. I saw Randy White take a couple of shots on the line of scrimmage when that was started, too.
He had about 3 men blocking him. But the Cardinals get that first down and maintain possession at their own 42.
If we get a chance to see that play again, because there is some fur flying. This is the last part of it. You can see Thurman in there. There's Cliff Harris now. Now let's see there. And there's the we call a counterattack.
Like Thurman was trying to strip the ball away from Morris. And the crowd starts to encourage or try to the Dallas defense. Cole got an arm on Hart. And that might have been the reason that he missed Mel Gray, because he was open.
There's a flag down on the line of scrimmage.
San Diego leading Los Angeles 7-0. That's the late start, of course, first quarter score.
Pat, this is what we were talking about with the wide splits. It gives the stunning defense a lot of room. You know, you not only have to block where you're standing, but also the area next to you. And it gives these guys like Harvey Martin and Randy White a tremendous run at your quarterback through a natural slot.
Bob Frederick.
Offensive holding, number 71. Down remains 1.
Joe Bostic was holding Larry Cole.
Good job that Bostic has done, the rookie from Clemson. 268 pounds and stepped right in for Deerdorf, which is not an easy pair of shoes to jump into.
Dave Stalls is the other member of the Dallas front four. He's supposed to be a good pass rusher. Outside the ball goes. And it's Otis Anderson. Ruled down. His knee was down. And he was touched by D.D. Lewis.
Dropped by D.D. Lewis at the 13.
Isolation of a number 1 draft choice. Talk about effort. He turns all ways. D.D. touches him down. I have a feeling Anderson never really feels like the game is over. We just ran out of time a little bit, but
Cincinnati ran out of time. Cleveland beat them 28-27. That is the final score.
Pete Johnson, the big fullback, scored on a 33-yard run. Last score.
Cleveland will be 5-3. Cincinnati 1-7. Cowboys, Brunig fakes a blitz, and it's not a fake. Henderson and Harris meet at the quarterback.
This is Tom Henderson's 4th sack of the year. Here comes the safety man, the free safety man. He goes up and over and rolls into a crab block and helps on the sack.
He got him with his heels. Henderson limps off.
I think he and Doug Todd, the PR man, have a radio show here in Dallas, don't they? Drive Time Doug, they call it, or something?
Hollywood. Tomas.
That'll be some show. They ought to tape that for syndication.
That'll be the end of the 3rd quarter.
And that is the signal ending the...
And they'll change ends of the field for one more. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Dallas Cowboys 19, the Cardinals 13. We now... One more quarter to play. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire, Texas Stadium. 15 minutes left. It's the Cowboys 19, the Cardinals 13. The ball's at the Cardinal 32. It'll be 3rd down and 20.
Jim Hart is 11 of 24 for 102. But the best 3rd down defensive team in the National Football League is the Dallas Cowboys. It's tough.
Henderson is out. Hegman is in, and that's Hegman faking a blitz. No flag. Oh. He just doesn't act like a rookie, run like a rookie. He probably doesn't eat breakfast like a rookie. He probably goes for a dozen eggs and a pound of bacon. He's just some runner, isn't he? He burns a lot of energy. Saw him get hurt the first time against the Giants one day, and he started to come out and went right back to the huddle and walked it off. And I thought, oh, hey, my hometown, huh? Roswell, it's blue and white on Sunday. That's all they think about over in New Mexico is the Cowboys. New Mexico. My mom has given 10 points and taken Dallas all the way. Your mom? My mom. Does she know Jimmy the Greek? Better than that. Cardinals are going to be called for too much time. Steve Little bounces the ball into the end zone. Steve Wilson back deep for Dallas. And that bunch of Cowboys are sort of hungry too. That special team bunch, that Huther and Guy Brown and that bunch, Hegman. They've had troubles on the kickoff returns, however.
Delay, offense, 4th down.
Delayed the game, it'll be 4th down. St. Louis had a little trouble covering punts a week ago against Philadelphia. Let's see what they do here. Thomas Henderson hurt his toe. He was expected to be back. Little gets off a funny kick. It turns out to be very successful. Came off the inside of his foot, but maybe that's what he intended. Getting the kick. Dallas has the football on their own 7-yard line. Kick out of bounds by Steve Little. They're looking into a full sun, Mr. Staubach is, and I think with a very dangerous offensive situation. The Cowboys got to be very careful with that football right now. All right, here is Staubach giving to Dorsett. With Scott out in front, Dorsett swings around the corner. Stone takes him out of bounds. Tony with just a little room. And really motored. And this is a slow developing play. Look at Scott getting out in the middle of your screen, 68. Rafferty's right behind him. The play is not a deceptive one, only if you're trying to catch a shadow. Swear he makes it look easy. Scott got the good block out in front. And they got into the shade. Well, the backs will be in the sun. And the line will be up in the shade. 13:49 left to play. Dorsett just went over 100 yards, 101. 4th consecutive game he's done that. Takes the fake and Staubach fires to Drew Pearson. Drew slung to the ground at the 40-yard line by Carl Allen. And rather hard. Good throw by Roger Staubach. He sent Tony Hill straight through, and the favorite pattern, the 6 pattern, the crossing pattern by 88. Roger looking into the sun, right on with this. You're right, this was a rough tackle. St. Louis makes you pay. Ouch. All the way to the 40-yard line in Cardinal territory. Dallas on 2 plays moved from the shadow of their own goal line into the shadows of this football field. Newhouse operates with Dorsett. Dorsett has it. Fakes inside, tackle by Kurt Allerman. And a good tackle on Tony Dorsett.
A sure tackle. Now you see him, now you don't. This time, good defense. The blitz forced the early throw, and now Dorsett had to sort of waggle around as it was strung out. Boy, Allerman really makes a good play.
Blitz was by Steve Niels. Laidlaw checks in with the play for Roger. 2nd 11. 12:24 with the clock running. Left to play. Dallas leads St. Louis 19-13. Again by Kurt Allerman in the open field.
Right to the knees.
So it'll be 3rd and 10.
The Cardinals are really belligerent, aren't they? If you do something that is a good offensive play, they are banging people on all sides, all around it.
And their pursuit is so good.
Remember, they got healthy last year, and down the stretch, they decided a lot of teams and where they would go.
They won 6 out of their last 8. They had high hopes coming in this year, and those hopes are not all gone yet. In spite of the 2-5 record at the halfway point, they could be 3-5 or 2-6. Preston Pearson back behind, back with Roger Staubach. He throws and has Jay Saldi. Penalty marker is down. Ken Stone took Saldi out of bounds, but hold everything.
Pass blocking looked almost perfect and maybe too good. Rogers beginning to really throw the football cleanly and without much effort.
Perfect throw, but the offensive unit for Dallas is backing up. At least they think it's against them. And the flag location would indicate that's true.
You know how hard it is for an offensive lineman to admit that he held somebody?
Offensive holding, number 67, 3rd down.
Donovan.
Right.
The big tackle, maybe one of the best in the league. Watch the top of the screen. You'll see him working. Inside move by the defensive end now. Yeah, that's the old Indian Apache hold, okay.
We'll make it 3rd and 20.
It's quite a joust on the line of scrimmage that time.
I'll say. In the shotgun. Fitzgerald with that line snap. Staubach scoops. Hang looks. Hang throw. Intended for Preston Pearson, who couldn't quite hang on, and the punting unit will come on. Nevertheless, Tom, that was a pretty good offensive series to get them out of their own end zone.
I think Roger, though, has thrown 2 or 3 of the worst passes I've seen him throw in this season, maybe a year or so. Flutter ball, and that last one was a very dangerous throw right down the middle.
That ball that Ken Stone intercepted earlier when he was in a similar situation.
It seems like Dallas doesn't think that this is a close game, and this is still a very close contest.
19-13. Danny White will punt for Dallas, and Roy Green is back for the Cardinals, and up goes the fair catch signal with Benny Barnes just staring him in the face. And from the other side, Thomas Henderson was right there as well. A wide catch. Cardinals own the football now with exactly 11 minutes left to play. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire at Texas Stadium. Jim Hart has been the quarterback all the way. There was some doubt whether or not he'd play during the week. There was some doubt early in the first half if he would be able to come back, but he was. Chased by Randy White. Fumble. Cowboys have it. Dave Stalls.
Dave Stalls recovers it, and Randy White is the one that made Jim Hart cough it up. Going from deep in his own territory, White just splits 2 blockers. I believe Larry Cole was in on it. Now Stalls is on the bottom. What did we find out that Stahl studied out at San Diego in the offseason?
Shark. That's Shark.
Shark, like
behavioral research. And he hopes to get his doctor's degree studying about sharks.
There's a big need for people that know a lot about sharks.
Dallas first down at the Cardinal 10. Newhouse.
Oh, boy, they're good tacklers.
Down to about the 6.5-yard line. The Cardinal defense, particularly against the rush, continues to play well.
And again, the linebackers fill those holes against that on the 30 defense and really tackle. Allerman, Pollard's a good pass rusher, the defensive end. Eric Williams has been in and out of there hurt. While they're bandaged up, I think they really like to stick people. They're a good football team to watch.
Bob Pollard, good job on that last play. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 7. Laidlaw in with Dorsett again. Something wrong with that play. Flag goes down. Staubach struggles down inside the 5, but they'll bring it all back. They miss connections. Fitzgerald and Staubach did. Charlie Davis tackled Roger, and the Cardinals want to accept that penalty. Players do. I don't know what the coach thinks. Yes, they're indicating on the Cardinal sideline, yes.
Still 10 minutes to go and a very close football game. We keep thinking, well, the Cardinals won't score and can't score, but they can score very quickly.
They always have been able to, it seems like.
And late.
They'll back it up. 5.
Illegal motion on the offense. 2nd down.
There were so many people illegally in motion, Bob Frederick and his crew couldn't figure out who it was. So it'll be 2nd down. It's still 2nd and goal, but they're at the 12. Staubach has Newhouse directly behind him. Will throw. He looks and throws high over the head of Drew Pearson, who was covered pretty well.
Roger looked and then looked back. By that time, it was done, and he is very clever about knowing where to throw the ball away. Normally, he's, I would say, the best at that.
We should always like to have a touchdown and an extra point, but with the score 19-13, a field goal would be almost as good for Dallas at this point. That would make it 22-13.
Number 26 just checked in, of course.
Preston Pearson.
Comes out of a bottle, you know. It's like suddenly he appears.
They do not shotgun it this time with him in there on 3rd down. They've got a score on this play if they're going to get that touch. The high throw is overthrown, intended for Drew Pearson. Roger Worley on the coverage, and here comes Septien. Cardinal defense again plays tough. Did a good job.
And put it in the worst possible position. Inside the 10, going in. Or inside the 15, I should say.
All week long, we've been hearing that despite the 2-5 record, the Cardinal players hadn't lost confidence in themselves, and they certainly have illustrated that today. 10:02 left to play as Danny White will put it down just outside the 19 for a 29-yard field goal attempt from Raphael Septien. It. That will make it the Cowboys 22, the Cardinals 13. Willard Harrell and Roy Green, who set an NFL record today, returning a kickoff 108 yards. Back for the Cardinals. The line drive kick is taken at the 4 by Roy Green. Still on his feet and taken down. And an unnecessary hit. Dennis Thurman made the tackle. The hit was by Bruce Huther, I believe.
Huther gave him a shot. That's going to put pretty good field position. How about Monday night with the great pumpkin, Charlie Brown?
And Fat Albert.
That's Cosby and the bunch, the kids, huh?
Cosby and the kids' Halloween special.
Trick or treat.
To be followed by MASH And WKRP in Cincinnati.
Lonnie Anderson, is that the young lady that was in the press box with us one day?
Yes, I think you interviewed her.
One of my best.
And Ed Asner stars as Lou Grant, all on CBS Monday night. Penalty was against St. Louis. We thought the late hit, was from Bruce Huther.
Flip, number 80 on the kick return team. First down.
See if we can find the clip. Bill Murrow.
The clip was on Huther and actually knocked him into the ball carrier. Thank heavens for instant replay.
And those officials.
And Sandy Grossman, our director.
Yes. Theodis Brown and Otis Anderson. Gary Parris sets up as the tight end to the right. And Anderson just keeps breaking tackles. Broke away from the grasp of Dave Stalls and Randy White.
Randy came from the right side, and how he gets into plays that far away as a defensive tackle. You used to see defensive backs go over and get into plays, you know, they are not supposed to be. But watch number 54. He forces the play on the line first, and when the cutback takes place by a great running back, it's a defensive tackle that's helping make that tackle. That's hard to find.
Here's Theodis Brown in the grasp of Bob Brunig. Think about that right defensive tackle position for the Cowboys. Randy White, who was preceded by Bob Lilly, in pretty good hands.
How about if Too Tall Jones decides to come back and you have Dutton, Too Tall Jones, Harvey Martin, and Randy White? How do you block that group?
I think you widen the field.
And punt a lot, right?
Third and short yardage, make it 2. The Cardinals need this first down. They may not have it. Harvey Martin made sure after Thomas Henderson made the initial hit.
I've had players tell me that Henderson is the toughest linebacker, and you look at him and you say, come on, watch this tackle he makes. Thomas Henderson, nothing fancy about it. He just sticks head on. Don't think he can't play football.
Near enough for a measurement as the sticks come out. It'll be very close. 8.5 minutes left to play.
Henderson's been low profile this season, don't you think, alike?
Much more so than last year. First down, he got it. Chicago Bears 27, Minnesota 17. That had been a tie, 17 apiece for a while. He'll move the sticks back to the sideline and out to about the 21-yard line of the Cardinals.
That field goal just put it over the edge and, you know, makes a touchdown just get close. Very big field goal.
Indeed it was. First down, though, for St. Louis, and Jim Hart drops the pass. Larry Cole around his feet, makes him throw it away. Larry Cole, pass intended for Theodis Brown. Larry Cole is starting to come on and give Joe Bostic a tough time.
Hart now has 11 of 25 for 102 yards, but it has been rough. Been a rough afternoon for Jim.
He was down for the sitting 8 count in the first half. You can hear that applause in the background. That's at the other end of the stadium where Whistling Ray is leading cheers. I wonder if he has a season ticket. Hart back again, outside. There comes Henderson again. Defensive back Benny Barnes slipped down, hurt his foot. He's had a bad foot.
He's had the calcium deposits in that ankle lower foot area for a long time, and I think Benny's in real trouble. He went down and stayed down.
Rookie Aaron Mitchell checks in. Let's watch the activity. We've talked about the speed of Thomas Henderson. Watch this reaction.
Here's Henderson, stays on the line of scrimmage, does not have to overreact. Now makes the tackle because actually Benny was not in position, and had Childs thought about how open he was, he could have probably ran for some good yardage. You know, Johnny Wooden, the great basketball coach, once said he didn't go for speed as much as quickness. He didn't want to see guys having the dive to make all the tackles all over, but those that are under control when they're doing it. I guess Henderson fits that bill.
Certainly does. Benny Barnes, right ankle, seems to be the problem. Bob Brunig, middle linebacker, looking in. stuff than walking, but that's going to last a while, it looks like.
Pretty thin position for the Cowboys, too.
Rookies in there now. Aaron Mitchell. And
he hits anything that moves. He's like a bull in the bull ring.
But he is a rookie. And Hart goes right to work. And
I'm telling you. From Las Vegas, Nevada, the rookie.
That's Jim Childs, the intended receiver.
And he does a lot of the hit duty for Harris. Harris says that, Aaron, go over there and hit that receiver when he catches this ball. Good setup, and as you said, Pat, go right to work on the young man that came off the bench. He didn't see all the problems, but he took care of it.
Another passing situation for the Cardinals, and Bob Young comes in. 7-7 Houston, Seattle. The Oilers kind of quietly hanging up close to the top of the AFC Central Division. Hart under the heat. Cole, Stalls, Harvey Martin, all close.
And Randy White got double and took the darnest collision. Watch this rush. And good blocking now by St. Louis. Harvey's taking that inside. Workman cuts him off, and Bob Young is trying to cut off Randy White. Look at 54. On the other side, though, there's some solo blocking and some great pass rushing.
Theodis Brown cut Randy White's feet out from under him. Thomas looked like he might be shaken up.
If the ball had been thrown, Dennis Thurman would have picked it off and walked in for a touchdown, and Hart had to put the ball away. Watch the rush. There's the dog. If he had thrown that ball, Thurman was making his move, and Henderson gets his 5th sack of the year.
That's sort of that delayed blitz that he has the speed to make successful. Steve Wilson. Punter was Steve Little. Wilson dodges a couple, swings around another corner. Fights for some more yards and gets down to the Cardinal 46. 6.5 minutes left to play. Dallas leads 22-13. Dallas 22, St. Louis 13. San Diego and the Rams are tied in the first quarter, 7-7. Cowboys have a first down. Staubach gives to Dorsett, who swings around the outside, cuts back, and there's a good tackle by Roy Green. Thomas Henderson seems to have recovered from whatever happened to him.
Playing good.
Just keep playing, Tomas. Good block by Rafferty on the outside that time. He just buried the cornerback. But St. Louis is a stiff tackling team, crisp.
Steve Niels came out, and John Bearfield went in. Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom.
On second down, Rogers going to put it up. Goes over the head of Preston Pearson. One of the Cardinal defenders, Mike Dawson, was out there. New Orleans beat Detroit 17-7, and don't count the Saints out as yet. Their record is now 4-4.
Detroit didn't get on the board till late in that game, too.
And they are 1-7. Randy Hughes,
young architect. Pretty good safety man, too.
done an excellent job replacing Charlie Waters. 3rd and 5, 5:45 left to play. Shotgun. Snap is a little low from Fitzgerald, but Staubach has it. Batted around, the ball hit by Kurt Allerman. And Dallas unable to move against a very stubborn Cardinal defense. Kansas City 10-0 over the Giants.
1-yard run by Arnold Morgado.
Kansas City's record 4-3. Tony Dorsett on a hot afternoon in Dallas.
Dorsett with 106 yards on the 18 carries. Broke out that first play and stunned us before we'd even done the opening lineups. Almost broke it, didn't he?
One tackler, Ken Stone, thing that prevented it. Danny White. Roy Green back to the Cardinals. Let it bounce to Wilson. They down it at the 1.5-yard line. What a play by Wilson.
I thought Green was going to go over and knock him away from it.
He tried to.
And it looked like Wilson was too far away from it. Watch this move. Here's the young special teams performer. He usually runs them back. It's good play. You'd be surprised what a difference it makes.
Bob Brunig was down and Jay Saldi to down it. They put it at the 2. The Cardinals have got 98 yards worth of work ahead of them to get on the scoreboard.
Stallings has probably told his defensive backs and people, make sure that Gray's got the double, somebody under and somebody deep.
Don't forget the award-winning 60 Minutes tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. First down, Wayne Morris, Otis Anderson, the running back tandem. Behind Hart, Otis Anderson, the ball carrier, gets out to about the 5. Larry Cole leads the defense.
I think Hart wasted that like a pitcher wastes a fastball. Just at least get the defensive line together so they have to make a tackle so we can try to pass the ball a little bit. You get to where you're two-pass happy against Dallas, you'll end up wearing those guys around your neck.
Seattle 14-7 over Houston. Second quarter score. 2nd and 7 here for the Cardinals. Less than 5 minutes left to play. And here's Anderson again. He bowls out to about the 10. Nearing 100 yards. Nearing a chance to join that select company of only 2 more backs who've gained 100 yards twice against Dallas.
You know, he came in with 21 catches. He now has 425 catches, and that may be the hardest thing for a young rookie runner to do is learn pass routes and pass patterns.
Here in the second quarter at Candlestick Park, San Francisco 7, Atlanta nothing. 3rd down 1. Roger Staubach on the phone over on the Dallas bench. Jim Hart calls him. It will be Anderson. Anderson spins for a first down. He is remarkable.
And he's always shuffling. He always seems like a straight line, but he doesn't have to do it. He's got great balance that he can lean back and take it off. Gets away from his own blocker. Gets away from Larry Cole making the tackle. And almost broke a long one.
Anderson now 18 carries for 99 yards. He's as good a rookie running back as I think I've ever seen, with the possible exception of Mr. Brown. He gets another try. That should be just about the 100 that he needs.
Well, that Bob Young has really played tough football today. He's got the bad hamstring, and he's a guy that carries 288 or 290 pounds around, and big number 64 in there.
In Minnesota having a little scoring contest. 27-23 the game in the 4th quarter.
We'll keep our eye on young Anderson now and see if did he make it? He just didn't make 100.
The even 100 now. Cowboys flex their defense with Martin back and White up. Outside Anderson. Anderson stays on his feet and can't come up swinging. Randy White. And really.
Well, I watched Randy White get away from 2 people, and then Hart unloaded the ball. So now he's wasted his effort, and then he began to chase it, and he put a pretty good shot on Anderson on the ground.
And Anderson comes up.
You know, tempers are like a hair trigger. Here it is. Now watch 54 to the left of your screen. You'll see him chasing. That's Harvey Martin right there. Here will come 54 now. He has not quit, and nobody's touched down Anderson. Understand that. He has not legally been touched down, and if you don't get mad enough to do that once in a while, you should be on the Davis Cup team or something.
They got off 2 or 3 blows.
Personal foul, number 54 to the defense. Touchdown.
I like the fact that Anderson got up and slugged back.
Yes.
You got to do that as a running back, don't you?
Blows to the side of the helmet, which never have any effect. San Francisco 107.3 now over Atlanta as Mazzetti might be back on the track. First down, Cardinals at their own 41, and Hart drops again. And throws deflected by D.D. Lewis, intended for Mel Gray in the direction of Aaron Mitchell, who is covering Mel.
D.D. had a 16-yard drop back in there. Brunig had dropped over 16. The linebackers, of course, they don't have a big turnover at linebacker here. You're their linebacker once, you're their linebacker forever sometimes.
Thomas Henderson is in a running battle conversation with the Cardinal bench and doing something that resembles taunting.
That's a foul.
Not if you do it toward the bench. 22-13. Cowboys over the Cardinals with 2:40 left to play, and Hart goes back again. Mel Gray spun around and had it momentarily. Aaron Mitchell on the coverage.
Ball was right in there. Great throw, and Mel Gray was already thinking about up the sidelines. He's got to catch this football. Great receiver, great play here. Again, Mitchell gave him a lot of room, which is wise. Let's see what number 56 is doing. The delayed blitz. Anderson, with the toe hold, throws him over.
Fun in games, and as Henderson leaves now, with the toe bothering him, he limps off. Mike Hegman will take his place. And Guy Brown. Hart lofting for Tilley. Aaron Mitchell on the coverage right with him. And Hart. That looks like D.D. Lewis having his fingers bandaged. Bob Young limps off on the Cardinal sideline. Jim Hart comes off with a frustrated stride, and Steve Little will enter. No, Hart's going to stay. It will not be Little.
There's Big Bob Young. He did some of that world's strongest men stuff. And you know, at 290, he's as strong as some of those mastodons that weigh 370.
Good guard for a long time. Fourth down. Cardinals try again. I believe that pass was caught. Diving catch by, I'm not sure if it was Childs or Gray.
I mean, Thornton was breathing right down Jimmy Hart's neck. Watch number 77 show up just as he cuts it loose. That's Bethea, I believe.
Right, it is Bethea.
Good pass rush.
First down, Cardinals. That pass was complete. To Childs it was. Aaron Mitchell on the coverage.
Has Jim been going on the quick count a lot? Looks to me like a long count might get an offsides. That's Thomas Henderson down like that?
Yes, it is. He's got a knee or got cramps. Pat Tilley has it. Knocked out of bounds by Aaron Mitchell. And Mitchell in a little scuffle. Dorsett up in the middle of the action. One of the cameramen got knocked down. One of the still cameramen, not ours, got knocked down in that fracas.
Would you say tempers are rather frayed?
I would say.
They started banging each other, and a St. Louis-Dallas game is that way. In fact, anybody who plays St. Louis better be prepared to defend themselves.
Dorsett was down looking at the pack.
Here's Pat Tilley, who had 62 catches a year ago. Great little receiver. He's only about 170 pounds with those great hands. He doesn't have overpowering speed. And he and Mitchell get into it a little bit.
Tilley stuck the ball in Mitchell's face after he gave a little extra effort.
No wonder Too Tall Jones thinks he can fight.
We could have a chance here if we wanted. Although the clock shows a minute 55, the 2-minute notification has been given to the two coaches, Landry and Bud Wilkinson. Dallas leads it 22-13. Thomas Henderson is upright. Hurt his back.
Lumbago.
See if piece of work.
And the main thing is he really plays good football.
That is the main thing. None of that would be very wise or very funny if he didn't play well. Here at the 24 are the Cardinals. 22-13 the score. Dallas leads 155. Hart. Dave Steep, the intended receiver, and he comes out. Pat Tilley goes back in.
The last catch was Tilley's first catch. Tight end now would be so important to have, really an integral part of your offense, to have a tight end like a Krepley or a Dupree or some of those around the league. And right now St. Louis does not have that.
Russ Francis.
Oh.
Comes Gray in motion. Aaron Mitchell follows him on the other side, and Otis Anderson barrels his way down inside the 15. He's hit in the back by Randy White and Harvey Martin, I believe.
Everybody around the league says you can perhaps try to jump outside on Anderson, and he will sort of run out of things to do. But the last couple of weeks, he's been turning it back inside and steaming straight ahead, running very hard.
20 carries, 105 yards. 3rd and 5. Ball's on the 19-yard line of Dallas. 1:39 left to play. Dallas 22, St. Louis 13. Hart. Mel Gray had it on the numbers between Aaron Mitchell and Dennis Thurman, but couldn't hang.
That's two. Jimmy's saying to himself, boy, you know, you can't knock a great receiver like Gray, but that's catchable. That's a touchdown catchable. Mel knows that he's a great competitor. He's played hurt so many times, it's not even funny.
4th down. Cowboy rushers will be Thornton, Stalls, White, and Martin, unless they bring some linebackers. And they do. Cliff Harris, Randy Hughes. Pass was intended for Pat Tilley. The Cowboys will take over, and that should do it. And what it should do for Dallas would be give them sole possession of first place in the NFC East. Philadelphia lost today, so their record goes to 6-2. Washington jumps to 6-2. Dallas would be 7-1.
That time Harris undressed Tilley in the end zone, and I can't figure out how he got away with it. But when you're a veteran like he is, the All-Pro, there's Tilley going on the swerve out and up. Let's see what happens as the throw gets there. Oh, I see. That's how he did it.
Dallas takes over then at their own 19 with 1:29 left to play. Dorsett and Newhouse behind Staubach. Givers to Newhouse. Cardinal defense continues against the rush to play tough. Charlie Davis, the first tackler.
The NFC leading rusher will still be Walter Payton, by the way, in this win, in this game over Minnesota now. He has 102 yards, and he will end up with 884 yards. Young Anderson is now at the 760-yard level, but looks like he might move in there if Wilbert Montgomery didn't have an outstanding day against Washington.
And apparently he didn't. So it'll be 2nd down. Scott Laidlaw with Dorsett in the backfield, and Tony Dorsett gets the carry. And just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage, and Roger Worley, who made the tackle, signals that the Cardinals would like to have a timeout with 42 seconds left to play. They have one left after this one.
Notice we never make a Worley call, right? It's because he's played so smoothly. He's existed and not existed at the same time.
They just don't try to work against him.
You've got to get the coach on.
That is Dorsett again. Clock still running now with 37 seconds to play, and Again, the Cardinals call a timeout. Atlanta has gone ahead of San Francisco now 9-7. Second quarter score at Candlestick Park.
Bartkowski just hit Alfred Jenkins with a 7-yard pass.
And they missed another extra point, I guess.
They're having a little bit of a problem.
Problems with that. Bob Stenner produced our broadcast. He, like the rest of us, enjoys the Texas hospitality here in this facility.
The salt will really get you down here, though, you know.
Director Sandy Grossman. And thank you, Sandy. And thank the rest of the crew.
And all the nachos you can eat for the rest of your life.
Boy, what a present that would be.
That's the truth.
Fourth down, Dallas. Danny White back in punt formation. Roy Green deep. No timeouts left for St. Louis now, so they'll stop the clock on this next exchange. Ooh, good kick, chases Roy Green way back inside his own 15 to the 14. Doug Cosby is down on the coverage, and the flag is down on the opposite side of the field. Jay Saldi made the tackle. Cosby made him commit.
Dallas, Pittsburgh.
Next week.
Two teams do not like one another even a little bit.
And I think I know why.
The owners are good friends. Mr. Murchison and Mr. Rooney get along.
Was that we were told the last time Dallas lost an artificial turf out of town was to Pittsburgh.
76, was it?
Right. 77, I think. The last time they were up there.
Personal foul on the defensive team on the return.
Personal foul.
First down, Reds.
Just checking the rest of next week's schedule. Cleveland will be at St. Louis. Browns came from behind to defeat Cincinnati today.
And we're just halfway.
Looking forward to a great second half of the season. Three-man rush by Dallas. Harvey Martin on the right. Randy White on the left. Stalls in the middle. Hart fires. It'll go out of bounds. This clock will stop with 14 seconds left to play. Mel Gray, the intended receiver.
I enjoyed your interview with Bob Hayes at halftime very much.
Thank you. Bob, of course, is in the middle of a very unfortunate period in his life, but he seems to have things in the right range.